I'm walking in a park in the central part of Riga. You can see water here. This is a former defensive moat which was outside the city wall, so the old city is there behind the water. And the four big parks which are formed on the both sides of the canal or the former defensive moat, they are today the border or a green island between the old city and the new city. So, and actually I think that this area adds a lot to the city, as it's a place for recreation. There is an opera house here, the Freedom Monument, restaurants, coffee shops, and so on. Now we'll see the Freedom Memorial, which is a tall stela. It's 31 meters of the stone pillar and a 9-meter high statue of Milda. Milda, she is the goddess of land in Baltic mythology. The Statue of Liberty has a bottom part, has different features from Latvian history, and the inscription Tevzeme un brīvībai means that your homeland will be free. And the upper part of the statue has a monument of a lady whose name is Milda, and she is the goddess of land in Lithuanian and Latvian mythology, and she holds 3 stars which symbolize the 3 lands of Latvia which united to be independent country. The 3 stars she's holding like that. If you are tired from walking in the streets of Riga and looking at the different attractions, you can go shopping just in the very center of the old city. Among the old houses you can find big modern mall which includes into itself several former residential buildings. Now this is a theater street which leads from the central square to the former theater, which is today an opera house, which we have seen previously. And we are very close to the very cradle of Riga city. Riga, the name Riga comes from the name of the little river which doesn't exist anymore, and the riverbed was just here on this street we are coming to. So here was a riverbed, and on that side of the curve of the river Riga, the Riga city was established. The city was established by Bishop Albert in 1201. Bishop Albert, or German Knight Albert, was sent here by the Pope to revenge for killing the local priest. And Bishop Albert arrived here with a crew of 500 knights, and they conquered these territories and baptized the local population. And so he was the one who established the city of Riga. And his first fortress was there. This is one of the gates. And later on they built a new fortress, a citadel, and developed the city of Riga. This is one of the most beautiful places in Riga, the town hall square. And the building you see here is the headquarters of the organization of merchants by the name Black Heads. They adopted the African person Maurizio, Saint Maurice, as their patron, and that's why they were called the Black Heads. He was, by the way, the only dark-skinned person related to the organization. He was never part of this organization, but he became a symbol of the organization. And here is a statue of Roland, who was a knight in the late 7th, early 8th century, who later on became a symbol of Hanseatic League, the union of cities, port cities who had the organization something similar to European Union of today, commercial agreements. And this building is a Riga town hall. Now all the buildings you see here, the town hall and the Black Hats complex, they all were destroyed during the bombings of the Second World War and were rebuilt quite recently. The Black Hats building was rebuilt 20 years ago and the town hall was rebuilt 15 years ago. With wine barrels and some hay, an old canoe on the Cathedral square of Riga, Latvia. Yeah. Usually they make some installations here, some music bands and so on. Now during the tourism crisis, Corona crisis, everything is a little bit different, but still we can see some local tourism from neighboring countries which are open for us. So the cathedral. The cathedral church was built in the early 1200s by Bishop Albert, the one who established the city of Riga, and they finished the construction by 1227. Since then it remained the biggest church and the main church of the country. It was first 300 years it was Catholic and later on Protestant, when Latvia became predominantly a Protestant country. Now this square is relatively young. Where we walk now, here were houses. It's even marked on the floor, on the pavement, on the square, where were the houses. So most probably now I'm in the kitchen of an old medieval house, which was later on destroyed, burned down, and the city authorities decided to turn this place into a cathedral square. Commerce in Riga, another important institution, the exchange, commodities exchange, this beautiful terracotta building, which is today the art museum. It was built in the late 1800s and used for the exchange. Riga was always a rich city with a strong import-export intermediation between the east and the west, and a lot of commercial agreements were signed in this commodity stock exchange. The next building on the main square is a little bit out of the context in the old city. It's too big for the old city, I would say. Latvia Radio. At the same time, this building has importance in the war for the independence of Latvia. Here on this square there were numerous demonstrations during the last revolution, when Latvian people fought for the independence from the Soviet Union. So January 1991, fires and people protesting against Soviet Union regime, and finally due to their demand, Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev acknowledged that the sovereignty of the three Baltic republics and Latvia as one of them. So once a year, when they commemorate the victims of the last revolution, they put pictures as exhibition on the square and organize different events here to commemorate the independence and also to strengthen the patriotic feelings of the new generations.